Yep to the yep. You already know what time it is. It's your girl P.O.C. Turn your radios up, spread the word, spread the message. We are back live on 900 AM WRD 96.1 WURD Radio. Again, today is Friday, March 8th. We are headed into the month of March and we're celebrating Women's History. We're also just celebrating women in general because today's the day we need to do that, right? And you already know we're giving you that greener, safer, FUBU conversation, that conversation that's for you and about you when it comes down to environmental justice. And today's show, I've been having the opportunity to speak to some people who are doing the work in Nigeria. You know, we took it to the continent of Africa, making sure we're highlighting the country of Nigeria and the work that they're doing with Plogging Nigeria. And we have two representatives on the line who's going to come in today's conversation and really highlight the work that Plogging Nigeria is doing. We just spoke to the executive administrator, but today we're going to talk to some, folks who are getting boots on the ground, women who are making sure their voices are being heard when it comes to this environmentalist sustainability movement and climate action that's going on with Plogging Nigeria. Good morning, ladies. How are you feeling? I want you both to introduce yourself to let the people know who they're listening to.
Hi, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Ramat Jadesola Owolabi, Director of Operations at Plogging Nigeria.
And who else do we have on the line? I believe you're on mute. We can't hear you. I'm still unable to hear. Do you hear her?
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you live and clear now. Go ahead.
Great. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rofiyat Abubakar, and I am the finance officer at Plogging Nigeria Club.
Awesome. And I want to ask you, ladies, simply, what made you start in as far as wanting to be a part of this Plogging Nigeria? What made you start the process, or, where'd the passion come from?
Sorry, can you repeat your question? And is it simultaneously we have to answer?
Yeah, so either one of you can answer at any time. But I was asking when it comes down to Plogging Nigeria, you both hold a good position in the organization. And I was asking what made you all want to start with Plogging Nigeria and where did the passion come from?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. For me, growing up, I've always liked to help, not even knowing that there is anything like volunteering. So, well, during my undergraduate days in school, I had a friend that she also belonged to Plogging. So I got to know about Plogging via our WhatsApp status, and I saw what they do, only for me to ask, and she explained to me that it's an environmental sustainability organization. So she shared me to register. She shared me the link to register, and now that I joined, and during the weekends, how we clean up in school when we don't have lectures, I'll join the weekly cleanup. So that's how the whole journey started, and that was at 2021. That was when I joined Plogging, and due to my passion for leadership, I also become part of the executive where I serve as the Plogging secretary during my undergraduate days. So while I was about rounding up, then the call for application came out for the National Executive Councils, and I felt I would be out of school, so I will not be able to be part of the executive members anymore. So I joined. I also applied to join as a finance officer. So that was how I found myself equipped and so engrossed in the environmental project, and I was able to go on with it till date.
I love that for you. So it started off as your friend sharing a link, and then from there, the passion just continued to grow and grow. And now you're willing to, do what you got to do to help the country of Nigeria. I love that. And I want to ask you the same question. Where did the passion come from, and how did you get started with Plogging Nigeria?
Thank you so much for your question. So for me, it started right from my home, because I come from a home where my father cannot actually withstand the sight of death. And it irritates him to even call anyone to come pick it up, because he will be like, oh, you saw it there. I do not need to tell you. So he will do it himself. And while he's doing it, if you're like, oh, Dad, can I help you? He'll be like, you saw it. You ignored it. This is our environment. This. So it started from there. And even volunteering, I would say, is also started from my home, because in the community here, I see how my parents are usually involved in community development when it comes to things. So I grew up into it. And yeah, while I was in school, I didn't see it as a big deal. I didn't know it could even be a full course like this, but I was just used to, oh, I'm here, I'm there. Then having done a few in volunteering, so as I developed this distinct passion for environment itself, like, oh, I actually enjoy anything volunteering for the environment more. And while I was in school, I also in my own school, University of Ilorin, I saw that there was a club called Plogging Nigeria, University of Ilorin, and I was like, cool, let me give it a shot. So I reached out. I was in, and after like a semester or two, there was a call for application. I was like, oh, let me actually let me apply for a position in this club. I'm loving it. And yeah, I became a team lead in my school until I graduated. And after I graduated, there was another call for application for the National Executive Council.
Awesome.
And I checked the rules. I felt like, oh, cool. I've done this, I've done that. I should be able to present my case and defend myself. So why not? So I applied for the role of Director of Operations at Plogging Nigeria.
Mm-hmm. And I want to ask you too, because you both hold some type of administrative role within Plogging Nigeria. And that makes me want to ask, when it comes down to the sustainability that you all are pushing in your mission, what do you see as far as sustainability for Nigeria? And I'm going to start with you when it comes down to Ramat, when it comes down to sustainability. What do you see for Plogging Nigeria? What do you see for Nigeria in general as far as sustainability?
Okay. Sustainability in Nigeria. Personally, I would say that the rich is not enough. The rich is not enough at this time, but I want to believe that with the help of individual efforts and non-governmental organizations like Plogging Nigeria herself, journalists who are actually, at the forefront of dishing out all of this information, government agencies and parastatals, if everyone can actually collaborate and come together to push more, and we're able to cover a wider horizon, then I think we can actually do better. Because believe me, at times when we are talking about sustainability, it's more of the people in the city, they have an idea, they nod, they have an idea. Not that the knowledge is depth, but yeah, they have an idea. But when we carry out rural initiatives and we are in rural communities, we do not get any affirmation from them. It is just negative. So the rich needs to be improved upon for this sustainability to actually stay. Thank you.
Thank you for that answer. And I want to ask you the same question. I want to jump you in. When it comes down to sustainability for Nigeria, as Plogging Nigeria is pushing that as a mission, sustainable environmental sustainability, what's your thoughts on it?
Sorry if I can get. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, I had to mute because the background is kind of a little bit noisy. But can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. If I can get your question properly, you said how Plogging Nigeria is working towards achieving sustainability in Nigeria. If I can get it right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, great. Plogging is actually trying its best as encouraging youths to achieving sustainability. And if we can have more NGOs involving youths, because we are in a world now whereby youth are the voices. And if not only if we can have more NGOs like Plogging to come into the system and do more of this, and also give youth the opportunity, because There are so many people out there, they are aware that there's a problem, but they don't really know the depth of it, and they are not even understand,
That's
they don't
real.
even understand how best to solve it. And also plugging involves in trying to educate people on climate change and all. So if we can have more of that, like even if the government can involve in all those things more, then definitely Nigeria will be able to attain this, even though we still have a long way to go. But I am very sure that if you can have more NGOs, more support for youth especially, and also more of climate education, we'll be able to address this effectively. That's my
And Ms. Abubakar, I want to ask you the same question. I want to keep you on because what you just said made sense about youth, right? And one thing that Ramat said was pretty much saying that we need more outside initiatives that are not government. So when it comes down to the youth, do you think that the youth should start getting more involved in the government, or should they stay in outside initiatives like Plogging Nigeria, or should they start to get more into the government? And I'm asking you, Ms. Abubakar. I'm sorry, can you hear me? And again, for those who are just tuning in, our guests are coming, from Nigeria right now. So I appreciate them. But yeah, I was asking you, you're right, you're off of mute, but I was asking you specifically when it comes down to the youth that you were speaking about, do you think youth should get more involved into governmental, actions when it comes to climate change and environmental stability, or should they stay on the nonprofit side and the individual side when it comes down to helping what's going on in Nigeria?
okay. I get your question now. Well, actually, should I say it's of two ways. It will really be nice to get involved with the government, but that shouldn't be a restriction to an individual. Which means with or without the government, you should be able to start by yourself. So having the government is just like a plus, and to help like fasten the process, because the government tends to like have more power to make rules more than an individual. Like, let me make an instance of recently the Lagos State in Nigeria, where there was a ban on styrofoam. Trust me, an individual cannot just come out and place a ban on the styrofoam. It is not possible. Please apologize for my noisy background. That so the thing is, it's up to you. Like I said, you should, as a youth, we should work with government to help, should I say, speed up our actions. And also, we shouldn't be restricted even when we don't get backup from government, because trust me, our government can be so somehow that you might request for help, but you're not going to get it. So even as individuals, we should be encouraged on our own to do something. So if the help actually comes from government, it helps skyrocket the process. So that's just what I feel about that.
Thank you for your honesty. And we're about to go to a quick commercial break. Right after this quick commercial break, we'll be back with Plogging Nigeria. We really wanted to hone in on, this environmental conversation, because it's not just happening here in America, it's happening everywhere. So we want to make sure we talk to everyone who looks like us when it comes to representing the Black and Brown communities. We got to make sure we're doing it all across the borders at the same time. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. It's your girl P.O.C. Eco Word each and every Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. 900 AM WRD 96.1 WURD Radio. We'll be right back.